welcome to Dehradun Literature Festival, ma'am. We are representing CineQuora. So thanks for being here with us. We have a few questions.
Sure.
First one, we have seen you in your case that in today's generation, they need poetry with a sort of presentation. Do you think that for raw poetries, it is difficult for them to survive since it is so blended with presentation?
I think presentation is important in every form of art because at the end of the day, spoken word poetry is not page poetry. Page poetry hoti hai jo raw hoti hai, jo likhi jati hai. But when you're writing to perform, you have to come on stage. And when you come on stage, you better be presentable. You better be able to present something. It's like any other performance art. You know, when you go on theatre, you present yourself as a particular character. So even with spoken word poetry, you have to present yourself. Presentation is an important aspect. But is it the only aspect? No. You can be the most good-looking person on the earth in the most expensive clothing. But if your poetry is not good, nobody would want to listen to you. So it's a combination of both. दोनों चीजें होनी चाहिए. And as a performer, presentability तो आती ही है उसके साथ. It's a part of the job.
Recently, you organized a workshop on teaching about poetry and, of course, presentation. So, can we expect books by Priya Malik on the same?
I actually have 2 books coming out. I've got a book coming out with HarperCollins, which is an English book and English fiction, and then I've got a book coming out with Vani Prakashan, जो हिंदी कविताओं के ऊपर है, और उसका नाम है इश्क के साथ पढ़ाओ, and it's coming out soon.
All right, we'll look forward to it.
Thank you.
Another thing that technology has given a very wide scope to writer. See, if I want to write something, I have a lot of platforms.
Yeah.
So do you think that due to too much crowd in it, the quality of the poetries that we get is somehow getting hampered?
That also happens with every art form. Stand-up comedy को उठा लीजिए. आज से 10 साल पहले there were only 5 comedians who did a great job. Now there are 50 comedians. Some still do a great job, some are average, some are okay. Art is very subjective. और जैसे जैसे लोग आते रहते हैं किसी आर्ट फॉर्म में, कहीं ना कहीं वो डाइल्यूट होता ही रहता है. लेकिन क्या इसका मतलब ये है कि हम नए लोगों को आने ना दें? नहीं. I think art should be open to everybody. It should be a very democratic process. और बहुत subjective है. जो शायद आपको अच्छी ना लगे, मुझे अच्छी लगे, और जो मुझे अच्छी लगे, आपको बहुत खराब लगे. So art should always be open. There should be no elitism in art. तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है when I see young people coming in. You know, presentable, not presentable, that's besides the point. Presentable से ज़्यादा important word है performance. You know, तो वो उस पे ध्यान दीजिए. And it's an open stage for everybody. आज मैं जहाँ हूँ वहाँ मुझसे पहले कोई और था, मेरे बाद अब कोई और आएगा, तो बहुत जरूरी है वो याद रखना.
मैम, आपकी बहुत ही फेमस पोएट्री है 2019 में 1999.
जी.
So it went viral a lot and I was wondering कि बेहद खूबसूरत कविताओं के अलावा what does Priya Malik craves in this era?
What do I crave in this era? Slowing down. So I'm a huge believer in slowing down with life, and you know हम इतनी fast forward जिंदगी में जीते हैं. Everyone is constantly on play and fast forward. इतना कुछ हो रहा होता है. So I need that the privilege to be able to say no, the privilege to be able to slow down, the privilege to be able to have that peaceful moment. So that's what I crave, और मैं कर भी लेती हूँ. I can be in the middle of 100 people and still have that moment of peace. So I always crave that.
Again, अमृता प्रीतम की बहुत ही famous poem मैं तनु फेर मिला, आपने उसका एक revised version
जी.
तो मैम वो बहुत ही painful poetry थी
जी.
To be honest. So what was your psyche when you were going through it, and how difficult was it to come across such a painful rendition? और वो भी original को ध्यान रखते.
Great question. I actually had lost someone very dear to me. और उसके 15 दिन बाद ही, actually 13वें दिन मेरा शो था और टिकट्स ऑलरेडी बिक चुके थे और मुझसे कुछ लिखा नहीं जा रहा था क्योंकि मैं उस फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड में थी, you know, when you're trying to process grief. और बार बार यही कविता वापस आ रही थी मन में कि मैं तुम्हें फिर मिलूंगी. तो I spoke with the organizers and I said कि मैं ऐसा कुछ लिखना चाहती हूँ, like my own version of the poem, and they were open to that. So it was one of the most difficult performances I've had because I choked on stage, which never happens with me. But अच्छा है ना, कविता में सार होना चाहिए, और that was one of those
and
words.
it became an anthem in COVID.
Yes, it did. कि मैं तुम्हें फिर मिलूंगी कोविड के बाद, वैक्सीनेशन करवा कर.
It was in March, if I remember, when you.
Yes, it was. It was. Yes.
And after that.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, आप जो है वो bilingual poetry की अगर बात करें,
जी.
you are the pioneer in that.
जी.
It won't be an exaggeration. So do you think कि ये जो trend है bilingual poetries के, this is going to move forward and जो traditional mono language में हम
Yeah.
poetries लिखते थे, it is going to slow down a little?
Yes, it has already started happening, and I really love languages. I think हम कभी-कभी English में इतने ज़्यादा रम जाते हैं कि हम भूल जाते हैं कि और भी चीज़ें हैं, because English is the coolest language in our country, which it should not be. और ये मैं अंग्रेजी में ही बोल रही हूँ, यही इसकी irony है कि हम सब एक जनरेशन के लोग, मेरी जनरेशन के, आपकी जनरेशन के, हम लोग अंग्रेजी को बहुत ज़्यादा तवज्जो देते हैं. तो और मैं भी देती थी, मैंने अपनी पूरी जिंदगी दी है. आई एम एन इंग्लिश टीचर, you know, all my degrees are in English.
In which you told about your fake accent.
Yes, absolutely, right. तो इतना ज़्यादा हम तवज्जो देते हैं उन चीज़ों को that we forget who we really are. तो मेरे लिए bilingual poetry was very important, और उससे मेरा एक नया demographic खुला है ऑडियंस का. You know, people जो लोग नहीं सुनते थे अंग्रेजी कविताएं, अब वो भी मेरी कविताएं सुनते हैं क्योंकि वो हिंदी उर्दू बोलने वाले लोग हैं. तो already the trend has picked up. बहुत सारे poets ने बाद में ये करना शुरू कर दिया है, and it's really lovely to see that everyone is doing that as well. So great question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was all, and our pleasure.
Thank you.